gave people the opportunities that we wouldn't have had. We didn't win any football games. We didn't win any basketball games. We probably had a few badminton games. Oh, and one of the funny things too that we used to have was the what's that thing called with 4 wheels?
Creeper race.
They used to have races around the campus. And the creepers, and you can't. I know when I was a kid, my neighbors had those, and we tried to race one down a hill, and it wasn't easy. But we had, just some fun things too that went on, and again the school grew, and we really haven't had a lot of controversy here. Here and there was a few things, and I remember when I was board chair. We never get, most board meetings you don't get a lot of people from the outside there. You get all the staff, and so suddenly I look up and this room is full. And what is this about? And everybody goes, what's it about? Well, we had a folk dance teacher from Wolf Creek who was gay. and that's fine, but they didn't like it. And so they were all complaining about it, but that's as far as it got. They complained about it, and we listened. We'll take it under consideration, and that was it. But it was.
I remember that meeting actually.
It was just like, oh my God, what was happening? Oh my gosh. And then there were a few other things, but normally it ran smoothly. And one thing I know about in those 28 years on the board, I think seldom did we not vote 7-0, because we listened to each other and try to make some decisions on what is really best for the college. And to have a board that gets along that well, and you still see it happen most of the time. There was one, though, that they did vote me down. It was about alcohol on campus. I tried. So, yeah.
Oh, that's great. During those early years, describe a little bit of the atmosphere with the students on campus and what it felt like.
I really noticed it the other night at the awards assembly, awards scholarship night, that we used to be called Hippie U. They would be kids coming from out of the woods in Illinois Valley. And I call all students here kids. They can be 70 years old and they're kids as far as I'm concerned. And a little bit more casual. And I think we have a more serious student today. They look like they have a mission in life. And we used to have a few students here that were perennial students. I mean, we couldn't get rid of them. I mean, it was a good life. I'll just come back every year, 5, 6 years.
Several degrees and
yeah, postgraduate in a 2-year college. But I think you see the more serious student, and that's logical because of the cost of education. You just cannot waste your time because time is money.
Yeah. Great, good. You actually answered this next question. I was going to ask you about the different types of students that you saw. Do you want to add anything to that, or?
I don't know. Let's see. What could I think of that I saw? I don't know. I think the student here is comfortable, and that's what I tell my kids my youngsters that I work with at North Valley. This is the most comfortable place to go because they'll never abandon you, and I think there's a sense of comfortness, and I don't know if that hasn't changed. I'm sure it hasn't.
Yeah, that's great. Good. What was the attitude of the faculty and staff in those early years, and how did that change as the years went by?
I don't know if I should say. Well, this doesn't go on TV.
No.
Well, in the beginning, we'd have board meetings, and then we'd go out and have a few beers. And a lot of that has changed. Of course, now, because your board members live all the way from Ashland to, Grants Pass, and so you don't see much of that. And people have homes to get home to. But I don't think we ever thought we had a home to get. But, again, we didn't have board meetings as we were having a beer, but you just kind of debrief. And sometimes I think that's a very necessary thing, to debrief. And you got to know each other better. And we were a lot more social as a board then.
It was easier probably because the community at the school was a little bit smaller.
Right. And we were out with not only the board, but with staff. Not only just the deans and stuff. I mean, it could be any teacher that came along. And I know that some of them used to meet out at the what's the one out on the Applegate? The Applegate Tavern. Yeah, we used to meet in a lot of these up and down Redwood Highway. And my husband would just shake his head and like, oh.
And probably as the years went on, it got a little bit more formal, and obviously with Jackson County, as you mentioned.
This was more of a Henry Pete thing too, you know, and then when we go to, we always tried to stick together a lot when we went to the conferences, you know, the Oregon Community College conferences, and we really we tried to make sure we represented the board, the college very well at those kind of conferences.
What was the relationship between the college board and the president?
Okay, you want the truth?
Yeah.
Well, the truth is with Henry was a special person. And one of the things I think is interesting, he retired at 60 because he thought he was going to die, because his brothers had all died young. Well, Henry is, we figure he's 88.
88, yeah.
And of course, Rick, you said he looks pretty good. Yeah. But Henry was a good old boy, and he you know, with us, he would take care of us everywhere we went. And then we got Howard, and when we hired Howard Sims for one of the reasons is we wanted a foundation, and he had been, in fact, at a community college meeting, I think it was in St. Louis. I was at a workshop on foundations, and it was a man presenting. And then when Howard came out to interview, I looked at him like, I've seen that guy someplace before. And that happened to be in that workshop. But he knew something about foundations, and so that was one of the selling points of Howard. And another one was, well, then what he did was, you know, he built the bowl. So he did have visions for the college. But he had trouble believing that there's such things as open meeting laws, and you know, we do have faculty organizations, and he just didn't he thought didn't have to listen to that because he was president. So the board felt that he wasn't working out, and so he was able to resign. And then we get wonderful Harvey. And Harvey Bennett is a real classy gentleman, and he was one that went through the remodeling process here, and I don't know where he got the money, but we got it done. and then after him, we went back to the. Oh, there's Rick Levine. He's been here before, and he was working up at Chemeketa, and so we said, oh. Do we really want this? But we got him, and again, everyone has made it just a little bit better, and then, but I didn't work under Rick because that's when it went to Jackson County, and now we have Peter, and I'm very fortunate because I'm still on the board, because when Rick was on, he asked me if I'd like to be on the advisory committee, and the advisory committee sits with the board if they wish. They don't vote, but they can sit, and so you can participate. And I really enjoy that. And I'm the one that has the best attendance. In the beginning, I didn't because it didn't fit into my schedule then. But now I have the best attendance.
Great. It's actually really a value because it gets a wider and different perspective than just these 7 board members. So that's great. In those early years, you know, you mentioned the state board split on getting the college started. What was the relationship with the State Board of Education? Did it grow?
I think it was good. Dale Parnell was very much in support of us, and he was, you know, you always felt that you had a friend there. And Dale was the state superintendent of the schools, and so I always felt really good about that. And then I really did feel that that we came in as a community college after all the money had been spent on buildings for all these other colleges, and there wasn't anything left for us. And so I think they were very supportive when there was money to, you know, come in and help us, as I recall. And I never felt any dissenting amongst them.
How about the Oregon Community College Association?
Oh, that was good. That's good. I was chair of that twice, and those are some fun days too. They had their meetings. It was